Mati has been in love with dance like myself since a very young age. She studied ballet, she studied folk, flamenco, belly dancing, and in 1998 she actually discovered something called the 5 Rhythms movement meditation. Mati, is that you?
I think so. Can you hear me?
I think that's you too. Hello, good morning.
I love technology. It's crazy. So yes, I can hear you fine.
You're sitting in front of your computer in Mexico, and we're here in the studio. It is
on
awesome.
my iPhone in Mexico.
Yeah.
It's even better.
So welcome. I was just giving everyone an idea about your dance background and just kind of sharing that it was somewhat similar to mine, except for the fact that you have studied extensively the 5 Rhythms with Gabrielle Roth, and that's what we'd like to talk with you a little bit more about today, and also to see how the conversation evolves.
Great. Sounds good.
Yeah. So how did you get involved with 5 Rhythms? How were you called to do that?
Wow. Well, I had just finished my MFA. I went away on a big adventure to blow glass in southern Illinois. And I really needed to go back to exercise or dance or something. It was really calling me. And it was at the same time that her book, Start Your Prayers, Movement as Spiritual Practice, had come out. And it came with a video of the wave. So I thought, well, that sounds kind of fun. I was already in my spiritual path pretty intensely. And I ordered it, and I danced it in my living room for the first time, and I was home. And it was just immediately a recognition of, I love this. I love doing this. And from there, that was 1998, and I started looking for workshops and classes, and there was nothing really close by. So I just started dancing a lot. And then there was a workshop in St. Louis with Kathy Altman, who's one of the teachers from the Moving Center. And it was close by, so I went, and it completely changed my perception. I realized what the practice was really all about and the amazing journey that I could embark on with that. So that was the entry point.
Cool. You talked about the wave, and for people who don't know about that, can you share some information about the wave?
Sure. Gabrielle's cosmology, if you will, was based on the 5 rhythms of flowing, staccato, chaos, lyrical, and stillness. And we move in those 5 different ways, and it creates kind of a wave of motion, and it's very similar to the way everything moves. It's organic, like you have an ocean wave that kind of gathers energy, builds energy, releases energy, expands, and then dissolves. And everything moves like that, and that's Gabrielle's observation. So we just show up to the dance floor and just dance that wave with those 5 rhythms over and over again. And they start to deepen into us, and then we see them everywhere, really.
So what are the 5 rhythms?
It would be flowing, which is the feminine, receptive, like I said, gathers energy. It takes the breath in. It just kind of gets you in your body, and it makes you realize that everything's moving. The second rhythm builds into staccato, which is more outwardly directed. It's the out-breath and moving forward. It's more masculine and fiery. And then chaos is sort of the third rhythm, which all both of these energies want to meet and contradict each other and sort of have it out in the dance, it's disorganize each other until we break through the edge of chaos into a lyrical state, which is when we resolve the contradictions that we're experiencing and sort of feel free and elated and light. And that leads us into a deep stillness, which is the 5th rhythm, when things are still very much in movement, but you just see how spirit is what's moving everything. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, can you say what the second dance was again? Or the second movement is
again? The second rhythm, it's staccato, which is a
staccato,
term.
like in music, staccato?
Exactly. It's that percussive, it's percussive and rhythmic. Cool. Whereas flowing, it's continuous and never ending. It's curvy, and staccato has starts and stops. So it's very, really opposites. They're both opposites from each other.
So, Mati, you have studied things you've studied soul motion, Feldenkrais, authentic movement, Gestalt movement therapy, yoga, Pilates, Sufi whirling, lots of different things. What do you think is so, you said you were home in your living room that day from the video. I love that a DVD in your living room can land you in I just think that's amazing and cool. So what about Five Rhythms brought you home?
Rhythms. Well, I've always been a dabbler, obviously. You just mentioned everything I've studied. And at Five Rhythms, each wave is so different from each other. I can be in one rhythm one day, or I can be in another rhythm another day. But the wave itself always kind of completes itself. So there's this amazing constancy and diversity. And there was something about being able to have the variety but the constancy that I find really attractive. That's one thing. And then, when I met the teachers and Gabrielle herself, what I saw was an amazing way of being creative and spontaneous in the moment and to trust the dance completely. And I had never seen a teacher do it quite in that way, where it's so much about trusting your gut and just being intuitive and just going for it. Gabrielle calls it, we're in a state of trisophenia, where we're thinking one thing, feeling another, and then acting out a third. Mm. And I love that concept. And with Five Rhythms, I find that I'm really called to think it, feel it, and move it in congruence. Mm. And where do I get out of my way so that those three things are happening together? Because I think that's what completely captured me. And then the community of Five Rhythms, is so diverse, it's very international. I'm a foreigner. I grew up in Mexico and I've lived in the States a long time, but it never quite fit. And in this dance floor, I feel, again, home again, too. And I don't have to explain a lot about myself. I can just move. I've always felt very welcome in any dance floor. Five Rhythms is now happening all over the world, so it's kind of a moving tribe, if you will. And that really healed a lot for myself. That was part of my healing process as I kept dancing through the years, being able to travel and show up and dance and feel like I was at home, with a common language called the wave. Yeah.